The month of December has started out with some pretty cold weather, northern plains, upper Midwest. But as we get into this start of this next week, there will be some temperature moderation. However, don't get used to it. It's going to be fairly brief. And not only will the cold weather come back, but during the time of the milder weather, there is some snowstorm potential into the northern plains. Let's check out the map. First of all, graphics right now. We got split flow. There's an area of split flow out across the Pacific Ocean. The primary jet stream going from west to east right through the middle of the country this week, but coming out of this, we're starting to see a large area of low pressure. It's going to come out of the southwest, and it will very likely be lifted up into some section of the Great Plains, northern plains, with the potential for snow, maybe some ice, maybe some rain. It all depends on the track of the low. At first, there may be some fairly heavy snow, and then it looks like the storm system will just kind of stall and linger, and that will likely produce lighter snows, but it may persist on into the week. And with the jet stream coming right out of the north, there will be potential for some colder weather to drop back in to the northern plains and northern Rockies for the second half of the week. The deep south will be fairly warm, but the cold weather, at least relative for the latitude, will make it all the way down into Texas, and it does look fairly cold. The frigid weather, the sub-zero highs, by the end of the week will be knocking on the door at North Dakota and may in fact make their way in. Another split, though, will be developing out across the west, and as we head into the second week of this period, which is actually the week leading up to Christmas, it does look like there are going to be some pretty cold temperatures into the northern Rockies and the northern plains, and generally speaking, most of the United States as we head into that period shortly before Christmas, I expect will be in a pretty cold weather pattern. Florida looks fairly mild. Southern California, not that bad, but really in the southwest with the jet dropping as far south as I expect, it'll be generally kind of coolish in places like LA and certainly into San Francisco. Texas looks pretty cold for the week before Christmas, and as I said, only South Florida escaping the cold. Some of this will be some sub-zero high temperature weather. Now, go back a week to this first week of the period, and I do expect a storm system to lift out of the southwest. It'll bring substantial rain to the southwest, including California, and mountain snows in the southwest. I do look for a band of snow, perhaps even heavy snow, to move out into the northern plains, and I'm not quite sure of the exact track. Obviously, the chance for a mixed precipitation is better on the southern side. And then once the cold weather drops into the northern plains, there'll be a chance of snow further south with rain all the way down to the Gulf, but the northern plains, upper Midwest look dry.